Hello, good evening, Jyoti. Hi. Uh, Captain Shivani. Hello, good evening. How are you doing? So, we're waiting for a very special guest with us that we're going to have live today with. So, his name's uh, Mr. Darasing Khurana, right? So, we're waiting for him to join the live conversation, and we'll be asking him questions based on his recent movie that he's going to be a part of. And apart from that, a few things about his personal professional life journey as well. Right. Hello, good evening to everyone who are joining in right now. And we are waiting for a very special guest of ours, as I mentioned. I'm your host, Siddhant Kapoor, and I'll be interviewing Mr. Dara Singh Khurana on his journey so far and a few things here and there. Right. So let me see if Dara has joined in or not. Just a moment. Oh yeah, we have Dara with us over here. So I'm gonna have him online. Hi Dara, good evening. You'll be on in just a few seconds. Good evening, Dara. How are you doing?
Hi, good evening. So good to see you.
It's so good to see you as well, and thank you so much for joining this live with us today. So I'll be asking you a few questions about your recent movie that you're going to be a part of, the Punjabi movie, and
Right.
apart from that, a few questions about your personal professional life journey so far as well. So
Yeah.
Dara, I am your host Siddhant, and I would like if you can give a brief introduction about yourself to our viewers and audience out there who are watching this live.
Right. So, hello everybody. Since I think most of you all know me anyways, and I'm Darasing Khurana, and I'm a former Mr. India. My journey started from a very small town in Maharashtra, which is called Parbhari. Uh, and now I am part of the film industry, apart from doing a lot of other things for the society by my philanthropy work. I'm also a radio jockey. I also have business into construction and marketing. So I'm sure, while we move forward with this conversation, we're going to get to all of these, and we'll speak more about it.
Absolutely. And I forgot to mention the tagline that we have for you, Dara. So, if you don't mind, I would like to introduce you as a model, an actor, a stylist, brand ambassador for social causes as well. So, ladies and gentlemen, please welcome welcoming Mr. Dara Singh Purana today with us for this live. Right, Dara. Thank you so much for answering, for letting me.
Siddhant, before we get to something more formal, it's always so confusing when somebody tells me that, introduce yourself, and I start thinking, मतलब अब मैं क्या बोलूं, मैं कहाँ से start करूं? So I think I have been blessed. I would say that, I was able to, I was given so many chances by this universe कि मैं इतने सारे career options try कर सकूं और सारी चीजों को explore कर सकूं. So when I speak to a lot of people, I mean, I interact with them in the colleges. I'm part of youth festivals. So I just tell them the same thing that keep exploring till you find that one thing. But at the same time, I also realize that there are so many people that have responsibilities of their families.
True.
They really need to like sort of get to one thing which is paying them well, and it does not matter that if at all it falls or does not fall in their interests. So ऐसे भी बहुत सारे viewers हमारे यहाँ पे होंगे. So we also have certain things that we can talk with them about them and how can they follow their passion. But apart from that, yeah, this has always been very confusing when somebody asks me, what do I do? So I start thinking, where do I start? So yeah, I completely forgot to mention a couple of things, and you pointed out rightly.
No worries. And I was actually, on the contrary, I was watching your TEDx talk as well, which happened at Mitibai College in Mumbai a few years back. Usme, the way you explained yourself as well was a little confusing to you, with all due respect, because you didn't know where to start from. All the titles that you had so far at an early age is actually something which is a sign of a man who has achieved a lot and who's on the path to achieve more as well. So congratulations to you so far on your journey. And I'm pretty sure कि आप और काफी lives को आगे touch करने वाले हैं in terms of what you do as a person, right?
Thank you.
Love.
That's very kind of you.
Lovely. It's not a problem. All right, Dara, I have a few questions for you, if you don't mind answering. Just to let you know, आपको बताना चाहूंगा कि कुछ ज्यादा ही questions है in terms of what we have on in store for you. So please be prepared, and I'm pretty sure you'll be answering all of them, right? So my first question to you, Dara, is your debut Punjabi film Baiji Uttange, right, has garnered encouraging response, and you have been appreciated. How do you anticipate this? How do you take this in regards to the people's views and opinions?
Firstly, I'm very grateful. I'm very thankful. My heart is full that the film has been getting such tremendous response. There's a lot of new cast. At the same time, there's also cast which is very well established and are superstars of Punjabi film industry. So I think I have been receiving appreciation for my character, but I would like to give the credit to the entire film, because what happens is our minds are developed in a way wherein अगर पांच अच्छी चीजें होती हैं और एक खराब होती है तो we start looking at that point. ठीक है. So अगर फिल्म में और खराब चीजें होती, लेट्स से म्यूजिक अच्छा नहीं होता, या एक्टिंग लोगों की अच्छी नहीं होती, या स्क्रिप्ट राइटिंग अच्छी नहीं होती, तो people would have honestly forgotten what's good in the film or who's acting well. They would just start making that one negative part like a bigger part and start writing about it. So when we receive appreciation, I take it as a win for the entire film, for the entire crew that has been associated with it. And my heart is full. I'm very grateful, and people have been appreciating the film. But I think it's the overall film that has been made beautifully, and is making people laugh. There's great fight scenes in it, a lot of action. So which is unusual for a Punjabi film.
Right.
So people are surprised by it, and are really liking the entire genre, action comedy, which we've introduced in the Punjabi film industry for the first time ever. There's no film
Right.
ever in the industry with this genre. So
Hmm.
I'm just grateful, I would say.
Lovely, and this film sounds like an interesting genre as well, as you rightly mentioned. Ki it's very first time that it's a combination of action and drama altogether. So it's quite anticipating. People are quite willing to watch the film, and we are very looking forward to it. In a short, brief response to you. So thank you so much for answering that. And my next question to you, Dara, is when did you realize that the Indian entertainment industry is your calling? आपको कब पता चला कि इंडियन एंटरटेनमेंट इंडस्ट्री में आपको आना चाहिए, and when did you realize कि I have to be a part of it?
Realize तो बहुत बचपन में ही कर लिया था, since the very beginning, since I was I would say first or second or third standard, like that early. But रास्ता कौन सा चुनना है, वहां तक चल के कैसे जाना है, I was completely clueless about it. So I was in school. I would participate in a lot of extracurricular activities. I would always dance, or act, or be part of monologues, dramas, single performing acts. So all of that. तो तभी से
Hmm.
ऐसे लगता था that I was looked up to in school when there would be annual functions, that somebody would say I want Dara in my team, the other person would say no, I want in my team. School में houses होते हैं, different houses, and they perform, so people would want me. So तभी से ऐसे लगता था that oh, I mean, I really enjoy doing this, and this is something I want to do for the rest of my life. But रास्ता क्या चुनना था, वो तो much later. I mean, I realized, and that only happened once I was titled Mr. India. That's when I thought, now I know a certain way. Again, it wasn't very clear, but like an unclear way, but I could see something. So that's when I realized, अब ये रास्ते पे चलना है, and that's when I would be able to enter the showbiz.
Beautiful, beautiful. That makes a lot of sense. And आपने जैसे houses का बोला, red house, green house, blue house होते थे school times में. So I'm pretty sure the houses would have been fighting over who would want to have you in your team. So thank you so much for answering that question to me as well. Tanya, my third question to you is you've gone from modeling and styling to acting and entrepreneurship, right? How do you describe your journey? Has it been a bed of roses or a deep blue sea of ocean? How do you see it? Do you see it like a walk in the park, or do you see it like a gehra samundar? It's a lot of more things to explore for you.
I think life is a mix of both. Life can't be, only red roses or only thorns in your way. So it's a mix of both. And I think, because it's a mix of both, that is what makes it interesting. And, because one day is difficult, that is when we are able to appreciate the other day which is less difficult and more beautiful. So it's just been a mix for me as well. Some days have been like pretty easy, and I thought, wow, मतलब ऐसा भी हो गया, ये तो मैंने सोचा नहीं था. And some days, I mean, I've been some months and months I've been working for a certain project, and then at the end, I mean, it's just gone, and I was not a part of it. So it's been difficult as well. So I think for each one, not just for me, each one, life is a mixture of both, and
Absolutely.
you really need to sort of tell yourself that that is life. अगर हम नीचे गए हैं तो हम ऊपर भी आएंगे, और अगर हम ऊपर हैं तो हमेशा ऊपर नहीं रहेंगे, हम नीचे भी जाएंगे. So yeah.
Very beautifully explained. It's life is a combination of ups and downs. जैसे ही ऊपर नीचे नहीं होगा, तो that means that you're not living your life to the fullest, right? So beautifully answered. Thank you, Dara, for that. And my next question to you is, of all the professions you've dabbled in, right, which has been your favorite? Again, a tricky question. Again, something which is going to be coming from the bottom of your heart. So we are anticipating that.
Yeah. So I can't pick and choose like one profession which I absolutely love, and the reason for this is that I have been a free bird always. Like जो मेरा मन करता है मैं वो करता हूँ, वो profession choose कर लेता हूँ. मुझे लगता है यहाँ पे opportunity और ये मुझे पसंद आएगा. So I'm happy to explore that always. So ऐसा कभी pressure था ही नहीं मेरे ऊपर कि मुझे ये profession का हिस्सा बनना ही बनना है for any given reason. So जब तक I like a profession, I'm a part of it, and the moment I realize that okay, this is getting a little monotonous or boring, let me just switch to some other profession, and boom, I'm doing something else. So I think all the professions that I'm a part of is because I wanted to be a part of them, and because I wanted to be a part of them, so I love all of them equally. And the moment I think they're getting boring, I'm on to another profession.
Lovely. I would want to throw a googly at you if you don't mind. Again, as you mentioned, you are a part of all these professions that you're liking. But वो होता है ना कि आप अगर क्रिकेट खेलते हो तो आपका एक फेवरेट बैट होता है एक स्लॉट में से. Still, if you would want to answer that one specific particular role that you enjoy doing the most, it's just a follow-up question of mine.
Honestly, I can just twerk the question a little, and if I can tell you what is that I'm enjoying the most right now these days. So I would say I am enjoying hosting shows. So I just got into hosting, and I've been hosting like award ceremonies and shows and moderating sessions. So I am really loving doing that, because every time I interact and I ask questions, there are people of completely different sectors, and I need to do my research before I speak to them. And ये सारे इतने दिग्गज लोग होते हैं, they're like the experts in their own field. So I get to learn so much about their field as well, and at the same time I get to communicate, I get to meet people that I absolutely love doing, and I think that's one thing that I've been loving the most these days.
Lovely, very well played. I mean, I threw a googly at you, but you played it very well. So thank you so much for answering that question as well, Dara. My fifth question to you is, what according to you was your breakthrough moment? कब आपको लगा कि हाँ ये moment है, अब इसके आगे there is no looking back?
I think ये मैंने अपने लाइफ में बहुत जल्दी रियलाइज कर लिया था कि there is no looking back. ये वाला मोमेंट तो लाइफ में आता ही नहीं है. अगर आप जी रहे हो, अगर आप जिंदा हो, तो लुकिंग बैक तो होगी ही, और वो जिंदगी का हिस्सा है. तो उसे एम्ब्रेस करना है, instead of thinking that it's something that is pulling you back. So every time I thought that there is no looking back, there was always looking back, and now I've started taking it like in such a positive way that I don't think that there is no looking back. I always think that this is one step ahead. There will be looking back, but I will try my best to not fall down completely. I will try my best to hold on to the staircase so that I can climb the next step more easily. So this is how I have adapted to life. And but I think the biggest jump that was in my career was definitely Mr. India, because from I would say from a local level to like a regional level, it put me directly to a national and an international platform. So as till date, that was like the biggest breakthrough, I would say.
Lovely. And yeah, following up on that, you won the Mr. India International in Myanmar, if I'm not mistaken, in 2017, if I have the information right about you. So just elaborate a bit about that. कैसा रहा आपका journey? How did you prepare for it? How did you begin practicing to be a part of that pageant as well?
Right. So, no, Mr. India actually happened in India. And after I won Mr. India, that's when I went to Myanmar to represent India at Mr.
Yeah.
International.
All right.
So
All right.
that is how this all happened. And there's a very interesting story behind it. So
Please.
before I got to participate in Mr. India, I was a fashion consultant. So I was a fashion consultant to Hrithik Roshan and Siddharth Malhotra and Vidyut Jammwal, Manish Paul, all these guys. And
Hmm.
you know, I mean, taking this story, cutting this, and taking it back in 2008, when I was in standard eight. I come from a very small town in Maharashtra, which is called Parbhani, and there was a local pageant happening there, and I had won that pageant, Mr. Parbhani. So my
Okay.
hoardings were across the city, and I was in standard eight. So I would go to school on bicycle. So after winning Mr. Parbhani, छोटा सा town था, तो इंटरनेट वगैरह तो बहुत कम एक्सेस था उस समय, या ऑलमोस्ट नहीं के बराबर था. तो मैं वो
Hmm.
पैजेंट जीतने के बाद भी सारे न्यूज़पेपर्स में my pictures was there, my hoardings were there, and I would drive to school, ride on a bicycle to the school. और मुझे मतलब रास्ते में सबको तो पता था ये परभनी, मिस्टर परभनी जीत गया, तो लोग मुझे रुका रुका के, अरे मिस्टर परभनी, अरे मिस्टर परभनी, रुको रुको रुको. एक एक हमारे साथ फोटो खींचो, मतलब फोटोग्राफर को बुलाते थे, मतलब मेरी साइकिल पीछे खड़ी करके हम लोग फोटो खींचते थे. So I would also feel very embarrassed. I would come home and tell my dad that मतलब मैं मिस्टर परभनी लोग मुझे बुलाते हैं सब, और मैं साइकिल पे जा रहा होता हूँ. I don't like it. Like मुझे at least स्कूटर तो चाहिए, and things like that. But having said that, while all of that was happening, somebody just asked me one day that, now that you are Mr. Parvani, what do you think? Do you want to go for Mr. Maharashtra next? Because that is going to be the next step. And I
Hmm.
instantly said yes. I said, हाँ मेरे को महाराष्ट्र मिस्टर महाराष्ट्र के लिए प्रिपेयर करना है और मुझे वो टाइटल जीतना है. तो मेरे बैक ऑफ माई माइंड था कि अब मुझे महाराष्ट्र मिस्टर महाराष्ट्र जीतना है. Cut to, I got occupied with my studies in school and college and 10th standard, 12th standard, all of that. And then I completely forgot that this was my dream of getting into the modeling industry. और
Right.
उसके बाद में I became a fashion consultant. So in 2016, I was styling Hrithik Roshan when he was going to sash Mr. India 2016 winner. And when he came back, I met him, and he would speak very little because he was going through a rough patch then. So वो बहुत ही कम बात करते. तो उस दिन खाली मुझसे बात करके मुझसे बोलते हैं कि अरे तू क्यों नहीं जाता है वो मिस्टर इंडिया में, तेरे जैसे ही लड़के थे सब. तो मैंने आई वाज लाइक, अरे ऋतिक इज स्पीकिंग समथिंग आउटसाइड द रेगुलर प्रोफेशनल टॉक. आई वाज लाइक, अरे ऋतिक क्यों मजाक कर रहे हो आप. सो इज लाइक, नहीं नहीं मैं सीरियस हूँ. And
Hmm.
that was the end of the conversation. I forgot about it. Next year in 2017, I see a big hoarding which read that, if you think you have it in you to represent your country at an international platform, come be a part of Mr. India. And that's when it took me back to, 1 year before when Ritik had told.
Dara, my next question to you is that you were a stylist for Sushant Singh Rajput. How did his demise lead to you to establish this foundation called Pause, Breathe, Repeat? How did you what really made you start up that?
So honestly, it came as a shock to the entire country, not just me, but all the more to me because, I knew him personally and I had the opportunity of working with him.
I'm sorry, it's pause, breathe, and
Can you?
talk. My bad. Yeah, yeah, please, please,
That's
please.
fine. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah. So, like I said, that it came as a shock to the entire country, and all the more to me because I knew him personally, and I had all the memories of we styling him in that house that we would see in the news, which was everywhere, and some pictures on the internet, which I don't really want to describe. So it took me back to the conversation that I had with him, a couple of years ago. He was such a visionary man. I really looked up to him because when he told me once that he had bought a plot on Moon, and my mouth was like seriously, like how, why? I couldn't believe it because if you ask me, I'd be like, I'd need like a penthouse in Marine Drive, or if you say, oh, go even further ahead, I would say like, okay, I'd like a villa at like Beverly Hills. So nothing beyond that. And this man had reached the moon already. So, our discussion was that, he once mentioned to me that it's very important that we make therapy affordable in India because in the Western countries, government supports people who need help with mental health, and government takes care of them, and therapy is very, very accessible. And in India, because people haven't experienced it, so they don't really understand how important it is, or just speaking to somebody right who can show you the right path, how much can that change things for you. So it took me back, and I thought, this beautiful soul has left the world, and but now is my time to do something for him. And that's when I started this foundation, which is called Pause Breathe Talk Foundation, where we help people suffering from anxiety and depression to get therapy at extremely affordable prices. So therapy that usually costs 2,500 rupees per session, we make it available at only 250 rupees per session
Lovely.
for people who need help.
Lovely. And I'm pretty sure that this initiative is going to help a lot of people out there, a lot of souls who are going through something that they're not able to express themselves out in terms of their family or friends. So this initiative will really help people speak with someone, interact with someone, and actually get help when they are actually needed, right? Perfect. That's a
True.
great Nobel Prize, Dara. Congratulations on that. And my next question to you is, you're also a global peace ambassador and a brand ambassador of the three world and Punarjanam, right? What brings out the humanitarian in you? What side of this? How would you describe this side of your personality?
The aim of my life is not just to make a life for myself. I'll be very honest about it. I mean, I find happiness in touching people's lives and spreading smiles. So that's like the ultimate goal of my life. Uh, I am a part of a lot of businesses and uh, a few different industries that I am. But what always keeps me going is spreading the right message for the youth, touching people's life. Like, Datri is India's largest blood stem cell donors registry. And so we help people suffering from blood cancer, thalassemia, leukemia, and 28 type of blood disorders. So at Punarjan, we realized, I mean, Punarjan, I became a part of Punarjan just 2 years ago, when we realized that during the pandemic, and that there was also time that during the pandemic there were floods happening. So in these floods, there were sabzi walas who lost their thelas, and even during the pandemic, जब ये sabzi wala अपने sabzi बेचने निकलते थे, we would see a lot of times wherein police उनके सारे फल या सब्जियां फेंक देती थी, उनके ठेले तोड़ देती थी and all of that. We realized that इनका घर जो है वो सिर्फ इन ठेलों की वजह से चलता है. That's
Hmm.
their everything. The moment they lose their thela, they don't know how to sell their vegetables and how to run. I mean, fill the stomachs of their family members. That's when
True.
I joined hands with this NGO called Punarjan, which only helps people, the vegetable vendors, provides them with thelas. Apart from that, we also realized that there are musicians who play their musical instruments, and that is what helps them earn some money and run their kitchen. सो अगर
Right.
इनका कोई म्यूजिकल इंस्ट्रूमेंट खराब हो जाता है या टूट जाता है, तो इनकी जिंदगी भी रुक जाती है. दो दीज आर नॉट वेरी एक्सपेंसिव, 15, 20, 25 हजार रुपए के बजट में ये चीजें आ जाती हैं. और बट इनकी जिंदगी तो इसी से चल रही है. सो वी ऑल्सो फाइंड आउट म्यूजिशियंस ऑल अक्रॉस द country, and not just in India, in America as well. So Punarjan works in entire America and India, and we find out people like these who need help with musical instruments or thelas, or vegetable vendors who lose their instruments and thelas in floods, or pandemics, or any other way. So we help them out. So I'm associated with them because that is what gives me happiness. That is what keeps me going. अब फिल्म्स आई हैं, ये फिल्म चल गई है, शायद अगली फिल्म आए उससे ज्यादा चल जाए, तीसरी आए वो बिल्कुल भी नहीं चले. So I don't want to feel depressed because मेरी फिल्म नहीं चली. I want to feel that मेरा bigger aim in life is to spread smiles. और कितने सारे ऐसे सब्जी वाले हैं, कितने सारे ऐसे म्यूजिशियंस हैं जिन्हें मेरी जरूरत है, कितने सारे ऐसे कैंसर पेशेंट्स हैं जिन्हें मेरी जरूरत है. So ये साइड में सारी चीजें चलती रहेंगी, बट एट द सेम टाइम मुझे बाकी की चीजों पे भी काम करना है. मुझे जिन लोगों को मैं नहीं जानता उनसे भी मिलना है, उनकी जिंदगी में भी खुशी लानी है. So I just contribute a little in through these foundations in their life.
Lovely. And just to add up to that, at a very young age, you've been doing a lot of things, and it's actually quite inspiring for others, especially our generation, to take up such a same genre or the same path to help others. क्योंकि अगर आप किसी को help कर सको, किसी की life में एक change ला सको, that's the biggest thing that you can do for somebody, right? Because that there's a saying, right? Ki, like, do something for someone without expecting something from their side as well. That's when you truly live, and that's what you're doing. So congratulations, Dara, on that part as well. And yeah, my next question to you is: you recently won a reality show, shot an international song, a Punjabi film, and a Marathi movie, right? What is the secret of your success, especially during COVID times?
Oh, is there a secret to success? I would love to know that. If somebody has, please mention that in comments. So I honestly don't think there is any particular secret to success. It's all about you keep doing, you keep doing, you keep doing, and then sometimes you succeed, and most of the times you don't. So uh, when you succeed, you realize that, oh, this is what is working for me, and you hold on to it, and then you add little more energy to it, you add little more masala to it, and you make that preparation a little better, so that
Hmm,
next time it works better for you and works in your favor, and you just
true.
keep doing all of that, and create your own formula. I mean, what would work for me would completely be a disaster for you. और
बिल्कुल.
अगर एक एक फॉर्मूला होता तो मतलब नेटफ्लिक्स पे हम लोग इतने सारे अमेजोन कैसे सक्सेसफुल हुआ, मैकडोनल्ड्स कैसे सक्सेसफुल हुआ, ये देख के हम लोग इतनी चीजें सीख जाते कि सारे बिजनेस सक्सेसफुल हो जाते. So I think it you need to explore for yourself that what works for you. So I can't say there is any secret or any formula to success. It's just that you keep doing, you keep trying, you keep trying, you don't give up, and always remember that when you're doing all of these and when you're struggling to do something good in life, always wear a smile on your face.
Very beautifully explained. Thank you so much for answering that question to us, Dara. All right. My next question to you is you launched DSK Consultants when the lockdown began.
Yeah.
Can you tell us more about that particular initiative as well?
I think by now you must have realized that I am somebody who can't sit idle. I have to keep constantly doing things, and so in lockdown I didn't have much to do. So I was like, "Abhi," I was scratching my head. Abhi kya karna chahiye? So
Hmm.
I always wanted to get into like digital marketing and stuff like that. And I had like a team of people who I knew, and I never worked with them, but I just knew. So I thought कि चलो ठीक है वो start कर देते हैं. I mean, I'm sitting idle, and then all of this work happens online. So I started DSK Consultants, and it's going pretty well, and we have like great response. So we work with some very renowned international people, like who are known worldwide, and I've been very fortunate that they are my clients today. So yeah, another way of connecting with people, and I also got into construction. So during the pandemic, and now when the project is coming almost to an end, I am like because now I got busy with my acting project, so I keep thinking कि मतलब वो थोड़ा सा रह गया है, but इतना ज्यादा मैंने उसके अंदर दिल और जान और सब कुछ लगाया था that अब वो थोड़ा सा रह गया है, और I mean it's in my hometown, and I am occupied in Bombay and constantly traveling for all my projects. तो मुझे लगता है मैं कब वो जाऊं और वो खत्म करूं. So I'm like constantly juggling between all the cities and all the professions that I'm a part of. So but it's fun. I always wanted my life to be like that. So juggling and doing, and that is what DSK Consultant primarily does.
Lovely. I guess that makes sense. And thank you once again for answering that. All right. My next question to you is what has been your biggest challenge in the past couple of years? In terms of your personal, professional life, balancing and juggling between them, how do you really get up every morning and say, कि नहीं, despite all the odds, I'm still up, I'm still doing, and I'm still achieving?
My biggest challenge is sleeping less, which I can't, and I absolutely love my sleep. I'm sure you were expecting something more interesting, but that's the fact. So the challenge is that I sleep less. Like people around me who I think are successful, who I look up to them, just say that we are sleeping just 5 hours a day, or six maximum, and then I am somebody who needs like 8.5, 9 hours like minimum sleep. So I am always juggling to uh, sleep less and do more. So yeah, that's one thing.
Lovely. And I guess that's a challenge that pretty much every individual faces. But to be at the point where you are, and despite all of that, doing what you are doing, is a really great thing that you have achieved so far. As I keep repeating myself, so congratulations to you on all the things that you've achieved so far, Dara. Right? My next question to you is, what drives you to pursue your goals each day? I guess you did really answer that. So if you want to elaborate a bit on that contrary, please do it.
I think I've already spoken
All
about it, so we can
right.
probably skip that. Yeah.
Lovely,
Somebody is
lovely.
saying, "Miss you, my boo." Who is this person that I don't know and is missing me? Okay, I don't know.
I mean,
All
Jesse,
right.
up to Ismail Adara, I'm pretty sure that you'll be having a lot of fan following and a lot of people that admire you. So I am a little astonished that you're taking this as a as an exclamation. I think this would be something
No,
you'd be getting.
I think you're just kind. I think you're just kind.
Lovely, lovely, perfect. Right. So my next question to you, Dara, is that other than your professional pursuits, right? What are your hobbies that take you away from work and rejuvenate yourself?
I absolutely see. It's not like a hobby. Hobby is something that you can just like do like a quick thing, like open a book, read, or like listen to music. Those are called hobbies. But my hobbies are like traveling for like 45 days straight to another country and then exploring 5 countries. So that is something I love doing. But of course, then I don't get that amount of time every time. Sometimes I get really lucky, like my entire May and June I was very lucky, so I was traveling like almost 2 months. So that was a great time. But I love traveling. So I make sure that I constantly keep traveling whenever I get little time. And I also love to explore different cuisines of foods. I'm a big foodie, and every time I travel and I come back and I hit the gym, my trainer's looking at me. मतलब सब कचरा करके आ गए आप. मतलब इतनी मेहनत की थी इतने दिनों तक अभी सब waste हो गई. So I'm just listening to him and just nodding my head, yes, because, but I think that gives me happiness. If I really want to control, I can, because I just met somebody, some spiritual leader yesterday, and Shivani Didi from Brahma Kumaris, and she was saying that our minds and our hearts have to be in our control and not vice versa. So,
True.
keeping that in mind, I can definitely control my urge, but I personally let it go because I think that gives me happiness and I want to taste everything and try everything and know about everything. So these are the two things I love doing. I can't call them hobbies, but yeah, that is what gives me happiness and uh, brings a bigger smile on my face.
Lovely. And let's keep it this way that these are not your hobbies, but a part of your personality and your life as of today.
Totally, totally. You can
Lovely.
see the personality here.
Jokes apart, but yeah, I mean that is something which you will be carrying with yourself, and with regards to not regretting any part of it, that is what keeps you going every day, right? So lovely. Dara, my next question to you is, who's your role model and what have you learned from them so far? Like we all have this figure in regards to किसी को अगर हम देखते हैं तो नहीं इसके ऐसे ही दिखना है या इसके ऐसे ही बनना है. So who has been that personality in your life?
सिड आई बी वेरी ऑनेस्ट आप बोलोगे मतलब जो मैं सवाल पूछता हूँ दारा एक भी सवाल का सीधा सीधा जवाब नहीं देते बट आई आई डोंट हैव दैट वन पर्सन इन माय लाइफ देयर आर मेनी पीपल आई वुड से there are people from different walks of life I
Hmm.
meet, and then I love certain qualities of them, and then I really want those qualities in me and I work towards them. And एक ऐसा इंसान अगर आप बोलते हो ना मेरा रोल मॉडल है तो एवरी पर्सन हैज सम नेगेटिव्स आल्सो सो इफ यू लुक अप टू देम यू आल्सो टेक दोस नेगेटिव्स सो आई थिंक दैट मेरे में तो ऑलरेडी बहुत सारी चीजें हैं जो नेगेटिव हैं ठीक है और उसके अलावा मुझे किसी को एक इंसान को रोल मॉडल बना के उनके पॉजिटिव और नेगेटिव लेने की जरूरत ही नहीं है आई विल
Hmm.
स्टिक टू व्हाट आई हैव इज नेगेटिव वर्क ऑन इट डेफिनेटली but at the same time I have different role models that I keep meeting and I love certain qualities about them and certain traits about them and I try to acquire them. So I would say it's a mixed ball of traits and qualities that I acquire from different people and I look up to. So if I have to name I might miss a few people. uh, but just to start with, like from my very childhood, my school principal, She's also a former, I mean, she comes from, again, like such a small town. Uh, you know, I don't think like when she would speak English, like, 30 years ago, there was anybody in my town who also knew, like, half of her English that she would speak. And that is when she opened up a English medium school in, like, such a small town. And that really needed guts. And then she went on to making the school bigger, opening up another college, then got into politics, then became a MLC, then became a minister, then became, like, she's achieved a lot of things. And while she achieved all of these, she has still kept her simplicity and her intelligence and her elegance along with her. So wherever I go and I speak to people about her, I mean, they only have appreciation about her. So I take certain qualities from her. When I grew up, I went to HR college. My principal, Dr. Mrs. Indu Shani, she is a former sheriff of Mumbai, a very, very visionary woman. I really look up to her. And, I take qualities. Now I also meet a lot of spiritual leaders. I was traveling with the Gurudev Sri Ravi Shankar ji to for many days in, like, Europe. And then, there's so many qualities I admire about him, the work he's doing for the world and people he doesn't even know, and all communities and all colors and castes. And there is no barrier कि Indian है, मुझे इनके लिए करना है, मैं इंडिया से हूँ, कहीं के भी कोई भी लोग, हम, I mean, Ukraine वालों के लिए, everywhere in the world. So I really look up to him. And then, so there's so many people, like, and I think, you have to create your own ball of what do you want in that. And the best thing is that nobody can stop you. आप हर कहीं से best qualities को pick up करके अपने लिए एक basket बना सकते हो. तो उससे अच्छी तो कोई बात ही नहीं है. So I'm blessed to be surrounded by people like these.
लवली. जैसे आपने कहा कि अगर मैं कुछ पूछता हूँ तो आप सीधा जवाब नहीं दे रहे हो उसका. इट्स अ गुड थिंग इन रिटर्न बिकॉज वी गेट टू सी अ लॉट ऑफ साइड्स ऑफ दैट पर्टिकुलर आंसर एज वेल. कि अगर एक क्वेश्चन का अगर एक साइड होता है तो उसके 5-6 साइड दिखने मिलते हैं. सो आई एम वेरी हैप्पी एंड आई एम वेरी हैप्पी एक्चुअली that you answer in an elaborative manner, ताकि जो हमको देख रहे हैं अभी, the people are viewing us live would get 5 to 6 sides of a particular answer as well, right? So thank you for doing that. And my next question to you, Dara, I guess we're almost on the verge of the questions getting over. My next question to you is, finally, Dara, everybody wants to know about your relationship status. If there's something that
I think everybody already knows. It's all over the internet. It's everywhere. So I'm very happily taken. I'm happily married, and I'm very happy. So I think most of the people know that. So yeah, that's my status.
I am pretty sure that some of your female fans would have been a little disheartened after listening to that. But yeah, I'm sorry on your behalf to them. Right? You'll have to find someone else at this point in time. But nevertheless, my second last question to you, Dara, is that what have you learned over your lifetime that you would like to share with the younger generation in terms of living their life to the fullest? अब तक आपने वो क्या सीखा है जो आप किसी को मोटिवेट करना चाहो in terms of कि आपको ये करना चाहिए and this is going to actually help you gain some traction out of that as well?
Instead, you saved the most difficult question for the end. No, मतलब I really need to, like, sit and think. अभी मैं इसका क्या जवाब दूँ? I'm usually not like that. I mean, my answers are like, I they just flow. But this is a difficult one for sure.
I've saved the best for the end.
Yeah, you did, definitely. So for me personally, it has always been giving back to the world, giving back to the society, giving back to the people that you don't even know. I at a very young age have, like, traveled almost 40 countries because I always wanted to travel. I have tried, like, I think 14, 15 different career options that I always wanted to do. So I have seen a lot of things, and I'm, like, very content in my heart because ऐसी चीजें ही नहीं बची हैं जो, I mean, I always think कि मतलब अरे मेरा तो ये सपना था, I wanted to do this and I'm not able to do it, or I want to do that. मुझे ख्याल आता है and I'm onto it and I'm doing it. One thing I realized is the thing that gives you the most happiness is when you see some person that you don't even know come thank you and say you have touched and changed their life, and you're not even aware you did that. And that comes as a biggest surprise to you. That comes as a biggest gift to you, because unknowingly you're doing things that are touching and are, like, spreading like wildfire and reaching so many people and so many people in need. And that is when you realize that you are so blessed in life. आप हम बहुत सारी चीजें ग्रांटेड लेते हैं, मतलब आज मैं बैठा हूँ एयर कंडीशन ऑन करके अपने घर में आपसे बात कर रहा हूँ, एंड ये क्या है, मतलब मुझे तो पेंट हाउस चाहिए, मेरा तो घर छोटा सा है, एंड विल थिंक थिंग्स लाइक दिस. बट when I meet people like these, and when there are people battling cancer and kids battling cancer, like their families, like sell their houses and everything that they have just so that their kids or their family member can recover from it, and our organization helps them out. And then they come to me and they say that thank you so much. If you weren't helping us promote this cause and people weren't registered, we wouldn't find a match for our kid, and आज हमारे बच्चे की जिंदगी बची है वो सिर्फ आपकी वजह से बची है. So it comes as like so much, it gives me so much happiness, and it comes as a very, very beautiful surprise. So I think everybody, I at the end of my every interview, I just tell everybody who's listening that please associate yourself with any social cause that you feel a connect to, because giving is such a pure thing, and it gives you happiness in so many different ways that I can't even express in words. So I think that's one biggest lesson that I've learned. And the earlier you start, the better it is. And you don't have to really, like little time per week is also enough. And there's so many things that you can also do online. You don't even have to go out. There's thousands of different ways that you can give back, and just do that. And don't expect कि मैंने देना start कर दिया है तो मुझे तुरंत things have to become better in my life, because they won't. You can do your karma, it 100% will come back, but there is no guarantee when will it come back. It can come back the next day, it can come back 10 years later, but the guarantee is it will definitely come back. So just do good and don't wait for when will it come back. It will definitely come back to you. So that is that one thing that I've learned, and I'd like to share with everybody.
Lovely. And speaking of karma, as it's very well mentioned in Bhagavad Gita as well, कि कर्म करो और फल की चिंता मत करो. That is what everybody should be living by, the advice, and contribute in the way and in the manner that you can, without expecting anything in return. As you rightly mentioned, कि सही समय आने पे वो चीज आपको जरूर उसका फल मिलेगा, right? So this is something which we have to abide by and which we have to live by. So people who are watching us, please try to inculcate something in your lives, and try to make a change in somebody's life as well, as our guest, Mr. Darasing, is doing specifically at such a young age as well, right? All right, Dara, my last question to you is that it's not even a question, like any quote or any words of wisdom apart from the ones that you gave right now, anything that you would want to conclude in regards to कि किसी को अगर कुछ सीखना है लाइफ में, किसी को कुछ अगर बड़ा करना है, or somebody who looks up to you would want to become like you, any words of wisdom for that particular person or people?
Honestly, I think I've shared pretty much everything, and if there's anything in particular that you want to know, you can always DM me. But just make sure that it's an elaborative question so I can answer that to you, because people just write hi, like 10,000 people hi. So you can't, like you don't know if they're serious or just writing hi. So I try my best to answer everybody, or like even catch up with them, and if I think I can be of anybody's help. So I'm always there, and you can reach out to me. And apart from that, if there's any question anybody wants to ask right now, we are open to questions also. And but Sid, I think I am still in a learning process. I haven't reached a position where I can share words of wisdom. There are people who are doing great in life, and who can really share that. So I and everybody else should look up to them.
Lovely. Perfect. Thank you so much for answering all the questions, impromptu questions especially, that were thrown at you today, Dara. And congratulations for you, to you for the entire journey that you've lived so far. और आपकी जो भी movie आ रही है, all the best to you for that as well. I'm pretty sure people in large numbers would turn out for that. And being a Punjabi movie and being a Punjabi myself, I would really want to watch it. And you can announce the date. You can announce anything that you would like to do, which is going to be associated with that as well. The platform is the stage is all yours.
No, so Sid, let me correct you. The film is already released this Friday. And,
oh, lovely.
Okay. Yeah. So the 19th of August, the film released in Punjab, Haryana, UK, US, Canada, New Zealand, everywhere, worldwide. So yeah, it's in the theaters, and if you're in Punjab, Haryana, or any of these countries, you please go watch. The film is called Baiju Kuttange. It also stars Dev Kharod, Nanak Singh, Harnas Sandhu, Miss Universe from
Right,
India,
right.
myself. Uh, it's a brilliant film, first of its kind, the first action comedy film in the Punjabi film industry. And please share your views and if you like the film and show some love. That's about it.
On that context, I'm gonna end this live here, and the next thing that I'm doing is going on and watching the movie in the near theater to me as well. So, Dara, thank you so much for answering the questions to us today. It has been a pleasure hosting you, and we look forward to interacting with you again in the near future. Thank you so much.
It's been an absolute pleasure, Sid. Thank you for your time and thank you for everybody who joined. I was reading messages of people while I was also answering. Archie who joined, so many people who were like, sending messages and Pramod joined. And then, I can read all these messages. I'm scrolling right now.
Right.
Bhushan, so my dear friend Anurag, Pooja Chopra, thank you for joining in, Vibhor, and lots of love and keep sending your blessings. Thank you so much.
Lovely. And one last thing, Dara, if you don't mind, if we have a few minutes left, if you don't mind answering a few questions which were put out here. Somebody's asking, is your favorite color blue? Before you leave, if you would
Oh,
like to give
yes.
some answer on that.
Yes, it is. How
Okay.
do you know that?
I think you'll have to, I mean, this person will have to ask that to you personally. But on that context, let me see if there are any few questions apart from that. Uh, People have just been astonished by your looks and by your personality. They've just been looking great. Okay, where can I buy all that you wear? So, where do you buy your clothes from? Is somebody question to you.
So if there's some special outfits, I definitely tag people in the designers that I've bought them from. So yeah, I think it's pretty much on my social media. And if there's anything in particular you like, you can always comment on that and ask me, and I'll try to reply and let you know.
All right, lovely. Thank you so much, Dara, once again, and I look forward to seeing you in the near future once again. And all the best to you for your upcoming projects. Do well, and we'll speak soon.
Thank you. Thank you, Siddhant. Bye bye. Take
Thank
care.
you. Have a pleasant evening. Bye bye.
Bye. See you. Thank you. Thank you.